So today we're going to talk about creating an HTML table for a report. Now we're building a report here, Dynamic Reporting Connecting Power Apps and Power Automate. This is all part of this book right here. Here's the ID. You can get it at these two locations. Gumroad, I think it offers at $2.99. So it's not overly expensive, but it pulls all of the content together and references all these videos. So if you want that, plus it gives you the code that you can copy and paste from the PDF. The Gumroad is a PDF. This is a printed book on Lulu. So you can get a hard copy of it. So anyways, if you want to do that, knock yourself out. That's great. Otherwise, we're going to go through the content here. I just know sometimes it's a little more, it's a little tough sometimes to kind of get through all the content, kind of got to back up the video and all that other good stuff. So, okay, we're talking about here, create an HTML table for the report. So let's get to it. So we're in this Power Automate. Whoops. We're in this Power Automate right here, this flow right here that we're working through. And here we're going to add to our flow, again, that we've created in other steps. We're going to go ahead and add to that flow right now. See, we've got the get items, which we've successfully done now. We're going to add the next, which is we're going to build the HTML table. So remember that you have to build the table. You don't have to. There's lots of ways to do this. But we're going to create an HTML table here, and we're going to pull the data from our collection, and then we're going to compose it by adding some HTML code to it. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So here, we're right here. We're going to create this HTML table, all right? And then we're going to put in this code right here, all righty? And I don't see it. Usually it's in the PDF. I'll make sure it's in the PDF so you have it. So here, we're going to create this right here. We're going to go to the body of the get item right here, body of the get items. We're going to add that, and then we're going to add these custom. Oh, there is no code. That's why. We're going to just add this custom information, okay? And then this is really the code related to this action. But we don't have to do that because we can do it all through the interface. So here we're going to create a table. We're going to go here to this right here, and we've got one option. We're going to get the item from the body value. And if you hold it over, you can see there, that's the output that we showed right here. Okay, so that's pretty easy, right? So we got the body, and we're in good shape. Now we need to go ahead and configure. We're going to show all here, and we're going to click on here. We're going to say customize. And here we're going to put in the values. So we're right here. We can enter in the values. For me, I like to enter in the values first as the headers and then go back and do all the values. So let's just say we're just going to put here task name in the interest of time, and we're going to click in there and we're going to say assigned. And then we're going to click back over here. We're going to hit the lightning bolt, and we're going to say, we're just going to type in task name. You see it come up. Now remember, we want to pull this from this body, right? Remember, we're pulling it right there, the get items. We want that to say get items. Task name, we want to do the same thing here with assigned, which can type in assigned. And you see, don't get confused by the variable. We want it underneath the get items. Remember, there's an assign down here too, but it's the get items that we want. It's easy peasy, right? Now we've got this stuff in an HTML file, and we're cooking with gas here. So we went ahead and just added all this data. We already checked. Now, we could go through and check the HTML table. We're not going to do that, okay? We're going to go ahead and add the next part here. So we did the test. This is just test flows. Look at the results. Now we're going to compose the HTML table. So let's go ahead and do this action right here, which is a compose action. So it's going to go here, and we're going to just type in compose. And it's going to come up right here under data operations, compose. Now, if you're wondering, just remember, you got the screens right here to kind of go from, okay? Now here, we're going to put in this information right here, the HTML code. Now in the document, that happens to be in Appendix A. So we're going to go ahead and go on down to Appendix A. We're going to highlight this. This is what I would encourage you to do as well. We're going to highlight this, and this will be out of your PDF file if you purchase the book, and you're just going to post that in. The other option is you can pause the video and write all this stuff down too, so that's good too. Okay, we're going to do one other thing on here, is we're going to point to this table right here. So we're going to click on the lightning bolt again, and do you see the output from the table? We're going to go ahead and click on the output from the table so that we have it inside of our Compose structure, because we're going to pull from Compose to do the actual email. So let's go back up and see where we're at. Okay, that was email Compose, so you just put that in. Great. Wow, we're moving through this, aren't we? So we're going to create an email message now from this information. So let's go ahead and we're going to create this action, send an email, and then we're going to add some different things. We can hard code it, or we can put a variable in, which we're going to. Okay, and then what do we do? Notice here the variable at A, task assigned to, we're going to put in the body of the message, and then we're going to add in information. Now we can add them both, but we're just going to add the one, and then we can go through and adjust the email as well. Okay, so here let's stop there, and we'll proceed to that point. So let's go back to here. So we've got that. And now we're going to go ahead and add an email. So we're going to just type in email, and we want we should just typed in send email right there. Office 365 Outlook, send email. Okay, version 2. Good. Now we're going to specify the 2. Now the 2 in this case, we can put in anything that we want at this point. We're just going to put in an address, okay? Because we're not collecting the information, but when we get to it, well, here, we'll just put in this text instead. We'll put in that text. We're not connected to Power Apps yet, but we'll put in the text of 2. So that means that when we're inside of Power Apps, right here, this field, which is MS4, text MS4. We're collecting that. Are we collecting it from there? Yes, we are. We're collecting it from there. See another video on how to get rid of that and actually use a drop down for that as well, but so be it. So here we're going to put in the subject. So we're going to say tasks for : and again, we're going to put in the information that we collect, right? So this is the variable. We could put in instead, the variables or what we collect, and we're going to put it directly from there, and we're going to do the same thing here. Okay? And then our body of the message, we can type whatever we want as a message to them, and then we're going to put in the output from the Compose. So Compose, outputs. Okay? So we're taking the information from here, right, which is a collection. Whoops. Remember, we collected all the items here in Get Items. We created an HTML table. We composed the message here with the HTML code, and now we're just sending the email. And you can see it take these parameters, and we're in good shape. Okay? So that looks pretty good, I think. Very good. So here we are, and then we can play with how the columns look and things like that. So let's go ahead and test this, see how we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and save. So it's saved, and now we're ready to go ahead and run the test. So we're going to do this as a manual test again. We're going to put in here, now remember we got to give permission to Office 365, and who's it assigned? So we want to look at Donald Duck's information still, not Donald Duck. D-U-C-K, brainwaves messing up there. And here we want to add an email address, and we're just going to put in jefflush@msn.com, and we're going to run the flow. Okay, now if this all works as it's supposed to, and it did, and it was very fast, we should get an email here pretty short, and we did. So let me double click on that email. And as you can see here, this is the email. This is what the table looks like. Here's the text. Now look, see I have task 4, Donald Duck. Remember, that got put in there automatically right here. So let's look at these side by side. So this right here is the text that we entered as the email address, and that came in, it came from you. So it's going to come from you, but it's sent to me at this address. Okay, so whoever you're sending from, whatever the Office 365 environment is that's logged in to create this flow, that's where the message is coming from. Just remember that. And then it went to where I put it in for the text. And then the assigned, remember we put in Donald Duck, which also dictated what the tasks were, right? Dot one, for example. So let's see this. Let's do one more example. We're going to test it one more time. What was the other? Whoops. What was another name? Okay, Jeff Lush. Okay, so let's go ahead and test it one more time with different variables and make sure that everything is working right. So Jeff Lush, and here we're going to say Jeff Lush at msn.com. Okay. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and run the flow. Now, this should now give us a different view. It ran successfully. That's a good sign. And here, we're going to go ahead and double click. And sure enough, it's a completely different message. Here's Donald Duck's message. Notice the differences. Okay. So here we have task. This is the header on the email message. Task for Donald Duck. Task for Jeff Lush. Task for Jeff Lush, Donald Duck. You can see the differences, right? LinkedIn content, blah, blah, blah. Building a text strategy. All perfect. They all worked. It's exactly the way we want it to. And that is exactly how you set this thing up. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk about connecting to Power Apps. And then we'll run through that, and then we already did the appendix there. We're going to troubleshoot through the filter. We'll do a separate video on that you can see to kind of get that information down of what you need to do there. And then this is if you want to run this report strictly from Power Automate, you can do that. And then you can also add some additional variables if you'd like. So we'll go ahead and do those in some other videos, and stay tuned. Thanks.